to get those websites. Am I right? So today we will discuss that architecture, how that web works, and what are the components involved in that web, and then what are the features that we need to aware of. Okay. So how web works? Let us take the example of Facebook. Okay. So what will happen when you type www.facebook.com? What will happen?
It will redirect to the home page.
Rendered. Am I right, guys?
Yes.
Okay. So how that Facebook page will get rendered? How that Facebook page will get rendered? So when you're talking about the web development, the components involved in the web development are client. What is a client? Who is requesting the page? We can call it as the client. The client could be a normal command prompt. The client could be your web browser. The client can also be a mobile app. On the mobile app also you are getting the internet things or not? On the Paytm, Big Basket, these are all apps. These are also clients. The same Big Basket can you access on the web or not? The same Facebook can you access on the web or not? So client could be anything here. Client could be a normal command prompt. So yeah. People will ping. So and so web server is working or not. Ping. You will give that IP address of that, and then you are going to get that ping back. It is going to respond you with some kind of data. So basically, how web works here? You have a client. Client is going to request. Client is going to make a request to whom? Server. So the second component involved here is server. Client and server. So what is a client? Already we are aware of. A command prompt, a browser, a mobile app, could be anything. Could be anything. So client is that. What about the server? Server is a physical machine. Server is again a physical machine which is going to see what you are going to request. You're going to see what you are going to request. Let us take a very simple example. I'm done here. Let us take a very simple example. You know gated communities, right? You all aware of gated communities? Like apartments and all. So, you want to go to your friend's house or relative's house. What happens? You don't know the address. What will you do?
GPS.
So basically, you know that way in which location they are living. Okay, let us take the example. They are living in Amite. But the community guy will not directly allow you. You have to give your credentials, like who you are. They will maintain a register. Am I right? For each and every guy, they are going to maintain a register, like where you are coming from, what is your phone number, and some ID proof also they will collect. Why they will collect? They want to ensure that you are not an intruder. Intruder means you are not a hacker or you are not a thief. Am I right? Similarly, when you want to access the Facebook, what will happen? You have to give the credentials of your Facebook, saying I am calling from a browser, Mozilla. I am in this IP address location. I am at this IP address location, and I am requesting the Facebook.com. Okay, so that is how the web works. You have to give your credentials to it, and you need to tell them which flat you need to visit. If you're going to the apartment, you have to clearly tell them which flat you want to visit. You can't have access to all the flats in the apartments, right? You have to clearly tell them, I want to visit 104 flat. Okay. Then the security guy will allow you. Even before allowing you, they will make a call. If it is a more secured environment, they will make a call to your relative and say, sir, so-and-so person is wanted to meet you, or do you know his person? And can I send this person or not? Am I right? Yes. So that is how the web works. That is how the web works. So let me show you the presentation here. Okay. So we got to understand that there is a client and there is a server. What client makes? Client is always makes requests. Client will always make the request. Server, what will it do? Server, what it will do?
Response.
Respond to your request. We call it as response. So request and response. What are the things request will contain? Request will contain who you are, what is your IP address, okay, and where are you residing and all, what is your IP address, which browser you are going to make a call. The browser could be Mozilla, the browser could be a Firefox, the browser could be anything. So it is going to make a request along with all these parameters. Okay. Any questions? Clear? Okay. So let us see. PowerPoint లేదా ఉందా PowerPoint ఉందా లేదా వెరీ గుడ్ give it 2 minutes guys okay fine no problem I can manage it here itself. Okay so let us assume this is our client. What is this? Client. And then assume this is our server. Okay. Now, anybody aware of here where the server is located? So anybody aware where the server is located? No. Server will have an IP address or not? Server will be having an IP address. In the world, how many servers are there? How many websites are there?
Number.
Billions and billions, right? So how will we know which is the IP address of it? Okay. Now, what happened is this was the case. If you are within an environment, you know the IP address of my machine. I know the IP address of your machine. We two can contact to each other. But if a server which is hosted somewhere else, we don't know its IP address, we don't know anything. So in such scenarios, what happened is a World Wide Web consortium came into the picture. What is this World Wide Web consortium? You will write www dot, right? That is called World Wide Web Consortium. So what it is going to do is it is going to maintain all the IP addresses of whom? Of the websites, of the registered websites. You know, you will purchase a domain. If you go to the GoDaddy or something, you are going to purchase a domain. Directly you cannot have your own website, kiran.com or abc.com, you cannot have. You need to purchase the domain. Once you purchase the domain, you need to host your application in a web server. Then you need to make some registration with the DNS. What DNS is? What is DNS? DNS is nothing. DNS is a repository. DNS is a repository of IP address and the domain name. It is a repository of this. Clear? So can I take this in the middle? DNS, domain name server. Domain name server. So here what you are going to have? IP versus domain. IP versus domain name. You are going to have this. Now, again, directly you cannot call the DNS. What will come? In between, your ISPs will come. Who is the ISPs? Internet service providers. You will use mobiles. The mobile will be, that mobile operator will be your ISP, Internet Service Provider. Beam Fiber. These are all Internet Service Providers. And then for each and every country, there will be one provider, one main guy. For India, BSNL will be the guy. So everything BSNL and BSNL. Every request that is going out of India will be going through either the BSNL or the BSNL. Okay. So from there, your request will be mapped to, from there your request will be mapped to DNS. Now you made the correct request. That means you typed facebook.com. What happens? If the DNS will look through all its DNS, they have some algorithm which is the shortest path. Where is the nearest server available? It is going to check the nearest server and it is going to give you the latest. It is going to pass your request from here to this server. DNS will go through, it is having lot many servers. Facebook will not have only one server. It will be having too many servers. It will see which is the nearest location. They have their algorithm. Will have their nearest location, and then they are going to map that to the respective server. Otherwise, it is not possible practically with one server. It is not practically possible to handle that huge amount of load. Understand? Facebook is having more than billion users, isn't it? So it is not practically possible with one server. So what they will do, they will see the shortest path and then they will send that request to that Facebook server. Okay. After this, any questions to anyone? So can I place one more arrow here? Okay. So you said facebook.com. Now, Facebook is having too many pages. Agree or not? Like your apartment, Facebook is having too many pages. In the apartments also, you will be having too many flats, right? So which flat you need to visit, you need to give the flat number. Similarly, here you need to tell to the server which page you want to access. You need to convey to the server that which page you want to access. Based on that page, it is going to give you the respective page. And meanwhile, it is going to check: are you authenticated? Do you have enough credentials to access that page? For the login page, you don't need any credentials. For the login page, you don't need any credentials. But for the once you logged in, you have limited privileges, right? For your private profile and all, nobody can see. So you have limited privileges. So request, and then you need to, once that page is resolved, what happens? It will respond. It will respond to the client. Am I clear? It will respond to the client. Now, do I need the DNS in the middle? No, I don't need the DNS in the middle. Why? Because already I know the IP address of the other guy. I know the IP address of my system. My server knows from which IP I am sending the request. It is aware of. So there is no need of a middle guy. Directly the request will be passed to the main server. Of course, in the middle, the ISPs will come. Internet services providers will come. Through them, it is going to send the request back to the client. Is that model understandable? Is that model okay to you? This is how the web works. And then, okay. Now let us see the properties of the request. Let us see the properties of a request and let us try to understand what are the things that the request is containing. Every request that you are going to make, it will be having, let me show you the request. Okay, are you finding this? Okay, now observe. What is this? This is a network tag inside your browser only. This is a network tag inside your browser only. I'm just checking what is this. Your request is this. Request URL. Is it what I have requested? Google.co.in. Request method get status code 200 remote address. That means where the Google is there, you are going to mention what is the remote address of it. Okay. Now response headers. Now it is going to give you the response and it is going to give you a lot of other things. What is the status and all. So request headers is going to give you user agent. Are you finding the user agent? Agent Mozilla Windows NT with 64, the x64 processor. All these things it is going to give you that information. Okay. So first let us see this one. Request URL. That means which URL you are requesting. Request method. There will be multiple request methods. What are those request methods?
Okay.
Method could be get. Basic crude operations. Get, put, post, and delete. Is that clear? URL is which URL you're requesting. And then, if you have any securities and all, you are going to pass the authorization headers, which we will see when we are dealing with the authentication and authorization. We will see that. After this, is this clear to everyone? And then user agent. What is this user agent is talking about? From which client or from which user agent you are making the call. From which user agent you are making the call. Let me try something different. Google address. It is going to you are going to get it back as part of the response. Okay, now I am making a request from where? iPhone 6 Plus S. Of course, it's a simulator. Okay, we call it as emulator. Okay, now what I am doing? Are you finding the user agent changed now? Are you finding the user agent changed? That means, what does it mean? It identifies from which user agent you are making the call. Am I right or wrong? So obviously, every time from where you are making the call, that is very important to the server. Why it is important? How many of you use Facebook on the mobile, not the app? How many of you use Facebook web version on the mobile? Now, do you get the chat on the mobile? Facebook chat on the web browser, mobile browser? No. Only you will get the notification, then you can see the post. That's it. You can't do anything other than that. You can write a simple post. Why? Because based on the user agent, it is going to disable the chat. Based on the user agent, it is going to disable the chat. If the user agent is a mobile browser, it is going to disable the chat option. Why? It is not possible. Mobiles cannot stand that many users, and it is not possible to have the chat. And even you can't see who are online. Am I right? You can't even see who are online. So that is the advantage of sending the user agent. Am I clear?
Yeah.
Online folks, am I clear to everyone?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what is the last one you are finding there? Query string parameters. What are these query string parameters? The moment you made any request to the server, if you want something to be sent along with your request, you can send by using the query string. If you look at the URL, gfe_rd equal to cr, ei equal to something. It is not generated by us, it is automatically generated. Now, are there any query strings here now? There are no query strings. Now you don't have any query strings parameter here. The moment you add something query string as a query string parameters, it will take the query string parameters. Is this clear to everyone? So query string is nothing. You are going to send some data as part of your request. As part of your request through the URL. That is nothing but a query string. How to format the query string and how to format the query string, I will explain you later. Am I clear, guys? Any questions? By default, when you load the install the browser, it automatically takes some query string. Internally, the client is going to take. If you remove that, it will take whatever you are giving. Okay, the same format you can observe for any of the pages you are having in the Word. On the web, if you want to query any of the pages, the same rule. Am I clear? Now, are we clear about the request? So request will be having a URL, request method. What is the status code? Okay. The status code indicates whether the server is existing or not. It can't be reached. That means that the domain is not there. You are not able to reach the domain. And you can see here. Are you having the IP address? Do you have the IP address? No. So you don't have the IP address and it is going to throw you an error calling 404 response. It's going to give you a response called 404. Not giving you that. Basically, you will get a 400 series of errors. For each and every request that you are going to make, you will be having four varieties of requests. What are those? 100 series. How many of you seen this error? Anybody seen this error? Okay. What about this? Anybody saw this error? Internal server error. Saw this or not? Internal server error means your request is reaching to the server, but when server is doing some calculations internally, it failed, it got some exception. It thrown the exception. In that case, you will get the 500 internal server error. In that case, you will get the internal server error. Am I clear? What next? What about the 300? 300 which usually will be used to gather the files. Files in the sense, JS files, CSS files, all these things when you are requesting for the file operation, you will be using the 300 response. If you want, you can see it here. Are you finding this GIF image? Not GIF, with my CSS? Okay, let me write some CSS file. This Google is so bad. Yeah. Are you finding this? Basically, if you want to render some kind of files, it is going to give you the 300 response. If you want to render some kind of third-party libraries and all, if you want to download, it is going to give you 300 kind of this one. So 300, 302, 400, 400 series, 500 series. I request you to go through it, and I request you to identify the which belongs to what. 100 series, 200 series, 300 series, 400 series, 500 series. These are 5 series available in the web. Please go through each and everything and please make a note of it, because when you attend the interviews, some people may ask what is 300 response, what is 400 response, what is 500 response. Some people may ask. So please go through it and please get down that response. Okay. Now, coming to the server side, one more time. Let us move to the server side concept. On the server side, what we are going to place. In server side, basically, server is going to respond to your request in 3 ways. One is a server caters with HTML, CSS, JS. Our area of learning will be in this area. The server could be anything. It could be a Tomcat Apache server. The application could be a .NET application, or the application could be a Java application. The application could be a PHP application. At the end of the day, server is going to give you those 3 files only. What are those 3? HTML, CSS, and the JavaScript. Only these 3 you are going to get. Am I clear? So what is the purpose of each and everything? That is important. Guys, am I going too fast? Please let me know. If I'm going too fast, please let me know. Yeah. Okay. I'll go a little bit slower. So server, you make a request to the server. You ask www.facebook.com. Facebook is a web page. Web page will be containing of 3 parts. The controls which you are seeing is because of the HTML. The controls which you are seeing, the text box, radio button, all these are part of the HTML. Okay. The styling, the blue color, the color combinations, or the layout, this is all because of the CSS. The dynamic behavior, you enter some data and click on something. Those kind of things will be because of JavaScript. So HTML is for the static content. What is the purpose of HTML? Static content, purely static. CSS is for the styling purpose. Styling means you want to polish your web page. For that purpose, CSS is there. What about the JS? To achieve the dynamic behavior, that means you move your mouse, you find a lot of things. All that stuff is because of the JavaScript. The logic is with the JavaScript. Dynamic behavior and the logic is with the JavaScript. Is that clear to everyone? Any questions? Clear? Okay. So elements, sorry, HTML for the static content, CSS for the style, and JS is for the logic. Actual logic will be implemented with the JS. So now each file will be having their own extension. HTML will be having its extension .html or .html. CSS will have their own extension .css. JavaScript will be having their own extension .j. Got clear? HTML .html, CSS .css, JS .js. Okay. Now let us discuss about our course sometime. So what we are going to do for the next 1 week. The agenda for the next 1 week is, we will start with the HTML tomorrow and then required editors. Required editors to work. So we will be dealing with brackets. What is the editor? Brackets.io. You can download the brackets.io from the respective location. It's open source and free. Are you finding this? Download brackets 1.7. You need to download this editor. If anybody want, I can ping you the brackets.io. This is the editor. Next, you need to install. You need to install what? Node.js. You need to install the Node.js. Why Node.js? I will explain you later. The purpose of the Node.js and all, I will explain you later. So, what are the editors that are required to work? Brackets.io and the Node.js. Clear? The third one, Git. The third one is Git, Git. So, how to install the Git? I will explain you now. How to install the Git? I will explain you now. Go to the Git download. Very simple. Downloads. If you are using the Windows, just click on the download for Windows. It will automatically track which version of Windows you are having, and it is going to give you that. Clear? Click on it. It will be downloading the Windows. Where is the Windows download version? It's already downloaded, right? So already I downloaded the Git. Already I have downloaded the Git. Just I'm saying run. I'm installing the Git now. I'm just creating a new folder for all of you so that for the bracket installation, you don't need to do anything. Just next. But for the Git installation, you need to be a little bit cautious. Okay. Click on download. It will be downloaded. Click on the downloaded file, double click. It will go through, it will take you to this prompt. It will take you to this prompt. Click on the next. Select all the options. Click on the next again. Here, this option is important. Okay. This option is important. Otherwise, you will come back to me saying Git is not recognized as a command. That's what you will come back to me. So don't do that. Select this as the option. Hope I'm clear with the installations. You need to choose this option. Otherwise, Git will not be recognized as a command prompt one, and you will find a lot of difficulty in working with the other things. And then finally, next. My God, I'm confused. Done. Did I miss any step? That's it. Of course, I have removed. I'm removing the Git in my system, and then one more time I'm installing it. That is not going to cause any problem. But which option is important? The middle option, the red one which I have highlighted, that is important. Click on finish. Now open the command prompt. Open the command prompt. That means cmd. Simply say, first you have to finish it. Done. Open the command prompt. I think all of you are aware of command prompt. Git hyphen version. You need to type that command, guys. Okay. You need to open the command prompt and say git hyphen version. It should show you the which version of Git is installed on your system. Okay. Now let me copy this code and then let me paste it here. If it is getting that, that means your Git is installed properly into your systems. Am I clear?
Yeah.
Any questions? Why we need to have the Git? Because I don't want you to write the code in your books. I want you to see the code in the online, and then you can practice it. That is the purpose to have the Git in our systems. Okay. Any questions? Okay. Okay then. Thank you all. I'm concluding the session for the day. Tomorrow we will start working with the HTML and also some part of the Git. Both are required because I'll write some HTML and then I will give you the code on the same day. Guys, you have any questions, concerns? You have any questions and concerns? Online folks?
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm able to.
Yeah. Can you please tell me like what will the training cover? Can you like just skim through the topics that we are going to cover throughout the training?
Sure. So throughout the training, what are the topics that we are going to cover? Of course, those who attended the demo, for them it is not required. But those who did not attend the demo, you can see this here, the list of the topics that we are going to cover. So we will start with the basics of the web development, HTML, basics, CSS, HTML5 and CSS3. And next, we will jump on to the JavaScript. Then we will jump on to the advanced JavaScript. Okay. After that, jQuery. After that, AngularJS. Okay. So apart from this regular thing, we will be working with the Git. We will be working with the Gulp. We will be working with the Bootstrap. We will be working with the _JS. And also the Jasmine. Okay. In the Angular, we are going to cover controllers, services, factories, filters, directives, and then there are third-party libraries are now. Up to this, these are the built-in features of AngularJS. Controller, services, factors, filters, directives, and providers. These are the built-in features of Angular. Apart from that, there are third-party libraries that are available. So one among them is the UI router. These are third parties which are not coming out of the box with the AngularJS. They are not coming out. So we need to install them, and then we'll be working with the Angular UI Bootstrap. Angular UI Bootstrap.
Okay.
And then there is one more guy called Bauer.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yes. Is this clear, Ashay?
Yeah. Also, like, are you covering Node.js?
Node.js will be a separate session, guys. Node.js will be a separate session. This is an AngularJS. AngularJS is the front end, whereas Node.js is a back end system. So we will be dealing with the Node.js from the next week onwards. That is a separate course. It means your Angular is in the front end, right? You will make the server by using the Node.js. That will be starting from 18th onwards. Clear,
Okay.
guys?
Yeah.
Node is separate topic. Angular 1 we are going to cover. We're going to cover Angular 1, 1.5.7. Is this clear?
Yes.
Asha, you want to know the topics that are covered as part of the node?
Yeah.
Okay. So as part of the node, we are going to cover what is the closures, callbacks, because this is the Node.js standard thing. Closures and callbacks are basics of the node prototypes. And then event loop. Once we're done with the event loop, we are going to start with the creating a server, working with Express.js. Express.js is a web framework for Node. .NET is a framework. ASP.NET is a web framework for the .NET. Similarly, Express.js is a web framework for the Node. Am I clear? Okay. And then we will also understand how to work with Mongoose. MongoDB. For that, we will be using a module called Mongoose. Here we will be covering the CRUD operations and search operations. On a database, you will be finding these two things only: create, read, update, and delete, and these search operations. Once we're done with this, we will be discussing about the authentication models. How to build the REST-based APIs. Asha, you are talking very low.
Oh, actually, I'm not talking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Express.js, and once we are done with this, we will be discussing about the passport authentication. In this, local and OAuth, open authentication. That is about the passport authentication. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this would be a part of this batch. So you will be teaching this all in the Node.js to this batch, or is it a separate batch?
See, this batch is only for the AngularJS. That will be a separate timing for this.
Okay.
Okay. This is not the same batch we are going to have. This is Angular batch. Those who are interested for the Node, you can subscribe for the Node as well. That will be the, once we've done with the Angular session, immediately we'll start the Node session. That means the next class will be the Node. And then one more Angular.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Socket IO, and then file objects, file IO. And there are a lot of subcomponents are there, like Multer, body parser, lot many things are there as part of the application development. So all the thing we are going to do is we are going to develop the applications as by covering all these concepts. Clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So let me share you this presentation to everyone. Yeah, who is this? Duration for Angular. What is the date today? 8th. I'm expecting this to be completed by 22nd. Last week of the September, 3rd week of the September. 1.5 months it will take. Because already we are 8th. Lot of holidays in the middle. Ganesh Chaturthi, Independence Day. A lot of holidays are there. So just it will take a little more time. But fine. Are we covering Angular 2 topics? I will be giving you the introduction to the pre-maker. No, Srinu. I'll be giving you the introduction to the Angular 2 topics, not the Angular 2 completely. I'll be giving you the introduction. Because Angular 2 is not yet ready for the market.
In the market presently, we are using only Angular 1.
Angular 1 is being used by the market now. It will take at least a year to come up with the Angular 2 for the big companies. For the small companies, they have started working on the Angular 2 as well. Big companies have not yet started.
Yeah, what is the difference between Angular 1 and 2?
There are a lot of differences.
That all.
Yeah, Lokesh, but I told you, right? Not lot many companies. If you take in a 100 company, 90 companies are using Angular 1 and 10% of the companies are using Angular 2. The reason is very simple. It got released 2 months back.
Okay.
Released 2 months back. So people are really not aware of what are the pros and cons of going with the Angular 2 and all. Companies will not invest on experiments. I mean, clients will not invest on experiments. So people are not yet started with the Angular. Am I clear? So do you read this document? Okay. Okay, then I'll be sharing this document to the team. They will share it to you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Hi, am I audible?
Pardon me?
Hello.
Yeah.
I just want to know, is there some another batch with some timing difference, because the duration what you have told me September 22.
Right.
It might hinder my new company. That's the reason. Is there some timing before 7 a.m. or at evening, something like that? For Angular JS?
No.
Okay.
No.
And regarding Node.js would be starting after 22 of September, right? Is it something
No, not 22. That's too long. 18th. 18th August.
18 of September?
18th of this month. 18th August. It will start at 8 a.m.
Okay. 8 a.m.
Right. 7 to 8 is this batch. 8 to 9 will be the Node.js.
Oops. My office starts at 9 o'clock.
I mean, I'll try to adjust the timings based on the head count and all. I'll try to adjust the timings. Okay.
Yeah, please, if possible, it would be great actually.
Sure. So how do you find the demo session?
Fine. Cool.
Okay.
Good, yeah.
Okay then. Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.